There are truths in life that only drama can teach you. I'm Jake Miller, 28 years old, a quiet IT guy in Seattle, living what I thought was a Hollywood rom-com life. A gorgeous wife, Brittany Harper. A golden retriever named Biscuit, more loyal than anyone I've ever known. But life, as the old saying goes, has a way of knocking you down when you're daydreaming. And I fell hard. One night, I picked up the iPad we shared, the one Brittany used to binge-watch pointless reality shows. Then, like a cruel twist of fate, a Tinder notification popped up. "Brittany, you're still hot as college." Words from Chad Brooks, a bad boy from her university days I thought was just a faded memory. Brittany replied, "Cool as ice, you're still my type." My type? Brittany, you call cheating on your husband a type? It felt like a truck ran over my heart. I confronted her. She denied it, called it a drunken mistake. Drunk? She was more sober than when she's hunting Black Friday deals. But the drama didn't stop there. When I said I needed space, time to breathe, Brittany didn't beg for forgiveness. No. She played the dirtiest card. She stole Biscuit, my dog, my best friend, my soul, and vanished like a villain in a B-movie. Worse, she posted a picture of Biscuit on Instagram with the caption, "New life, new me, same dog." Oh, Brittany, you just messed with the wrong guy. This isn't just a story about a guy getting cheated on. It's about how I flipped the script, took back Biscuit, and made Brittany realize no one touches my family, even if that family is just me and a dog. This drama's about to explode bigger than a social media scandal. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you how I got my revenge. Like and subscribe, because I'm pretty sure you don't want to miss this show. Life's like a Starbucks latte, smooth foam on top, hiding the bitterness below. I'm Jake Miller, the guy who just found out his wife, Brittany Harper, was flirting with Chad Brooks on Tinder like I was invisible. But before you think I was a loser from the start, let me rewind, tell you about the days I thought I was living in an Instagram-perfect world. Warning, this isn't a fairy tale. It's a tightrope walk between paradise and hell. I met Brittany at the University of Washington, sophomore year, in a communications class I only took for credits. She walked in, blonde hair gleaming, smile bright as a toothpaste ad, and I, a shy IT nerd, sat there stunned, like my brain got hacked. She asked me how to use photo editing software, and we clicked like two cheap magnets. Dating, Seahawks games, sipping craft beer at Pike Place Market, it felt like a rom-com script. 5 years later, at 25, we got married in a small ceremony by Puget Sound, with Biscuit, our newly adopted golden retriever, as the best man with a red bow on his collar. Everyone said, Seattle's golden couple. But gold, sometimes, is just a thin layer of plating. The early years of marriage weren't bad. We rented an apartment in Capitol Hill. I worked remotely for a tech company, while Brittany hustled on marketing campaigns. Biscuit was the glue holding us together. I took him for runs around Volunteer Park every morning, while Brittany occasionally snapped photos for Instagram, captioning them #DogMomLife despite barely walking him for 10 minutes. I didn't mind. I thought that was just her way of showing love. Looking back, there were signs I missed, like ignoring a software update until your system crashes. Brittany had late work meetings with colleagues, her phone always face down. She'd snap when I asked about her job, "Jake, you don't get my stress." I thought she was overwhelmed, so I tried to make up for it, cooking dinner, buying flowers, even signing us up for a couples yoga class she never attended. I told myself, marriage has its ups and downs. But downs that lead to Tinder? Once, I caught her giggling at her phone at midnight. "What's so funny?" I asked. She flinched, said, "Oh, just a funny video online." Funny video? Brittany never watched those. I didn't dig deeper because I trusted her. Trust, it's a double-edged sword. I thought I was building a castle, but it was a sandcastle, and Brittany was ready to kick it down. Biscuit was the one constant. Every night, as I coded late, he'd lie at my feet, eyes shining like he was saying, "I'm here, buddy." Brittany, though, grew distant, treating me like outdated furniture. She'd talk about college, her carefree days, and I thought it was just nostalgia. Turns out, carefree meant texting Chad, the guy who made her heart flutter before I came along. Looking back, was I blind? Maybe. But love, or rather naivety, makes you ignore red flags as big as SeaTac airport billboards. Brittany wasn't evil from the start. She was the person I wanted to grow old with, the one I thought would raise Biscuit with me until he went gray. But now, knowing she not only cheated but dared to steal Biscuit, I realized, my castle never existed. It was a mirage, and I was about to turn it into Brittany's nightmare. The truth hits like a punch to the gut when you're sipping an IPA at your favorite bar. It doesn't warn you, doesn't ask permission, and doesn't care if you're ready. I'm Jake Miller, the guy who just learned his wife, Brittany Harper, turned our marriage into a Tinder sideshow. Let me break down how that damn iPad shattered my Seattle dream and turned me from a naive guy into someone ready to go all in with his cheating wife. It was a rainy Friday night in Seattle, as usual. I was on the armchair, Biscuit curled up beside me, while Brittany said she had to meet the marketing team for a new campaign. Another late night, I thought, probably a deadline. But the iPad on the coffee table kept lighting up, notifications pinging like it was trying to spill a secret. I wasn't planning to snoop, honest. I'm the guy who wouldn't open your mail even if it's right in front of me. But when the screen flashed for the 10th time with Chad Brooks, "You still make my heart race," I knew I was in trouble. I unlocked the iPad, password was our wedding date, how ironic, and saw Tinder. Not mine, because I don't touch that cursed app. Brittany's. The messages read like a bad novel. Chad, how's my Seattle girl? Still hot as college. Brittany, you're still charming as ever. Chad. Coffee sometime? Coffee? In Seattle, coffee is code for anything from a date to a hookup. I scrolled up, heart pounding like I was binging a crime podcast. Turns out, they weren't just texting. Brittany met Chad at a Belltown bar months ago, just to catch up. Catch up? She wrote, "That night reminded me why I was into you. It felt like I'd been tossed off the Space Needle." I sat there, staring at Biscuit, hoping he could explain. He just tilted his head, like, "Dude, I'm shocked too." When Brittany got home, I didn't beat around the bush. I held up the iPad, voice calm enough to surprise myself. "Brittany, explain. What's Chad Brooks doing in your life?" She went pale, then switched to defense mode faster than a politician caught in a scandal. "Jake, you snooped through my stuff? That's pathetic." "Pathetic?" I laughed, but not the happy kind. "No, Britt, pathetic is you texting your college fling while I'm here making spaghetti for you." She pulled the Waterworks card. "It was just one drunken night, Jake. A stupid mistake." "Drunk?" I read a message aloud like a prosecutor. "That night reminded me why I was into you? That's drunk, Brittany? Or do you like him more than your husband?" She stammered, admitted they hooked up once after a college reunion. Once, she insisted, like that made it better. But then I scrolled further, found a message from 3 years ago, when we were newly engaged. "Chad, congrats on the engagement, but if you change your mind, I'm here." Brittany, who knows what the future holds, right? I froze. She didn't just betray me once. She'd kept Chad as a backup plan, like a Costco stockpile. I felt like I'd been sucked into a Black Mirror episode. Brittany tried to hug me, mumbling about loving me more than ever, but I pushed her away. "Love? You kept Chad in your contacts like a discount coupon." I said I needed space, time to think if this marriage was worth saving. She screamed, called me selfish, said I was blowing it out of proportion. Blowing it out of proportion? She slept with another guy, flirted behind my back, and I'm the one overreacting? I packed a small bag, left Biscuit behind thinking he'd be safe with her. I was wrong. Brittany didn't just betray me. She was about to take this drama to a whole new level, and I, an IT guy who just wanted a quiet life with his dog, was about to be dragged into a fight I didn't ask for. But when you hit a man's breaking point, especially when that point has 4 legs and a wagging tail, you'll see a side of him even he didn't know existed. I thought the storm had passed, but no, it was just the wind picking up. After confronting Brittany, I left our Capitol Hill apartment, dragging a small suitcase and a broken heart. I crashed at Tina's place, my best friend who's as blunt as a sledgehammer and always ready to curse on my behalf. I thought leaving Biscuit with Brittany was safe. I was wrong, dead wrong. Brittany wasn't just a cheater. She was a heavyweight drama queen, and I was about to taste her dirtiest move yet. The next morning, I woke up on Tina's couch, head pounding like I'd been hit by a bus. I checked my phone, hoping for an apology text from Brittany. Nothing. Instead, an Instagram notification popped up. Brittany posted a photo, her hugging Biscuit on a park lawn, smiling brightly, caption, "New life, new me, same dog. Hashtag fresh start." Fresh start? I nearly dropped my phone. She didn't just cheat on me, she used my dog to flex on social media. Tina, brewing coffee, saw my face and asked, "Why do you look like you saw a ghost?" I handed her the phone. She read the caption, then spat coffee across the table. "This chick thinks she's the star of a Hallmark movie?" She stole your dog, Jake. I called Brittany, trying to stay calm. Brittany, what the hell are you doing? Give Biscuit back now, she laughed, voice sweet as poisoned candy. Jake, you abandoned me, abandoned our family. Biscuit's mine now. Want him? Cancel the divorce, and I'll bring him home. I was stunned. This wasn't the Brittany I knew, the girl who cried during Pixar movies. This was a vicious Brittany, ready to use my dog as a hostage to manipulate me. I roared, you can't hold Biscuit to force me. He's not a purse accessory. She replied, do what you want. Biscuit's with me, and I'll take better care of him than you. Better than me? I'm the one who took Biscuit to the vet, bought his toys, ran him for hours at the park so he wouldn't wreck the house. Brittany? She just fed him and snapped photos for clout. I tried calling again, but she blocked my number. I texted, emailed, even tried LinkedIn. Yes, I was that desperate. No response. I turned to Tina, who was typing on her phone like she was declaring war. Jake, this girl's playing mind games. You can't let her win. Biscuit's your family, not her bargaining chip. Tina was right. Brittany didn't just steal Biscuit, she locked me out of our shared Netflix account, changing the password to some random string. I found out when I tried to watch Stranger Things to de-stress, only to see incorrect password. So petty. I called Brittany's mom, hoping she'd talk sense into her. She sighed, Brittany's a mess, Jake. She says she just wants to keep the family together. Family? I nearly shouted into the phone, Mrs. Harper, family isn't stealing dogs and locking Netflix. I drove back to the apartment, thinking Brittany might still be there. It was empty, except for a note on the table, Biscuit and I are taking a break. Don't look for us. A break? I felt like I was in a Law and Order episode. I called the cops, reported that Brittany took Biscuit, a dog registered under my name on every vet record. The officer yawned, this is a marital property dispute, buddy. Sort it out in court. Court? I didn't need a judge to know Biscuit was mine. But worry not at me. If Brittany could steal Biscuit to control me, what else could she do? I'd heard horror stories of people hurting pets to spite exes. Biscuit wasn't just a dog, he was my friend, my light in dark days. Tina, with the fighting spirit of an MMA champ, said, Jake, you gotta fight dirty back. She once swore, you be the general. I didn't want war, but Brittany declared it when she posted that photo. I looked at my phone, saw Biscuit in her arms on Instagram, and rage ignited. Brittany thought she could cage my dog and manipulate me? She was wrong. I, Jake Miller, the peaceful IT guy, was about to become a warrior for Biscuit. And trust me, when an IT guy gets mad, both the digital and real world shake. The game, like a Seahawks match, can flip if you play the right move. I, Jake Miller, was cornered by my ex-wife Brittany Harper when she stole my golden retriever, Biscuit, and flaunted him on Instagram like I was the loser. But I'm not the guy who quit. With Tina, my best friend whose tongue is sharper than a razor, I started planning to take back Biscuit, not with tears, but with a scheme worthy of an action flick. Tina, cross-legged on her couch, holding a coffee mug bigger than Brittany's ego, declared, Jake, you need an Ocean's 11 style plan. This chick thinks she's the drama queen? You'll be the comeback king, I agreed, but I'm no George Clooney. I'm an IT guy who prefers coding to spy games. Still, picturing Biscuit stuck with Brittany, probably eating cheap kibble instead of the organic stuff I buy, I knew I had to act. Tina asked, got an AirTag? Didn't you put one in Biscuit's toy? I froze. She was right. Last month, I hid an AirTag in Biscuit's favorite tennis ball because he kept losing it at the park. If Brittany had that ball, I could track her. I opened the Find My app, heart racing like a war drum. Jackpot. The AirTag pinged at an Airbnb near Lake Union, less than 10 miles away. Brittany wasn't creative, hiding just a short Uber ride from downtown Seattle. Tina clapped, see? Tech saves the day. Now what? Bustin' like Rambo? I shook my head. Barging in would only let Brittany call the cops and paint me as the bad guy. I needed her to bring Biscuit to me, and I knew how. Hit her weakness, her massive ego and belief she could always control me. I called Brittany from a new number, borrowing Tina's phone from a guy she met on Bumble. I faked remorse, sounding like a repentant husband. Britt, I messed up. I don't want a divorce. I'm back at the apartment, waiting for you and Biscuit. Can we talk? She paused, then said, voice wary, Jake, you serious? Because I'm not wasting my time. I went full Oscar-worthy, dead serious. I can't live without you. Or Biscuit. She bought it, said she'd come by that evening. I nearly cheered, but Tina signaled to stay cool. "You're not done yet, buddy. Time for backup." I called two more friends, Ryan, a security guard built like a fridge, and Kyle, an amateur videographer who carries a GoPro like he's filming a documentary. Tina directed like a Hollywood boss. "Ryan, you take the back door to get Biscuit out. Kyle, record everything, angle it so Brittany looks like she's auditioning for Real Housewives. Jake, just play the sorry husband until Biscuit's safe." I nodded, but inside, I thought, if this flops, I'm not just losing Biscuit, I'm losing my dignity. We got to the apartment before the meetup, parking a block away to stay discreet. Tina checked the AirTag one last time. Brittany was moving, likely on her way. I sat in the living room, palms sweaty, focusing on my role. Ryan and Kyle hid in the bedroom, while Tina stood behind the curtains, ready to pounce like a ninja if needed. The plan was simple: when Brittany brought Biscuit in, I'd keep her talking, Ryan would sneak Biscuit out the back, and Kyle would film to ensure Brittany couldn't accuse me of stealing or violence. It sounded perfect, but I knew life's never as smooth as a bug-free code. When the doorbell rang, my heart nearly leapt out of my chest. I opened the door, and there was Brittany, hair in a high ponytail, wearing a hoodie like she was just out for a stroll. Biscuit was beside her, tail wagging furiously when he saw me, but the leash was still in her hand. She looked at me, voice smug. "See, Jake? I knew you'd come back." I swallowed hard, forced a smile. "Yeah, you're right. Come in, let's talk." But in my head, I was screaming, "Biscuit, I'm about to save you, buddy." The clutch moment, like a last-second touchdown, hits when you least expect it. Brittany walked into the apartment, dragging Biscuit along, gripping the leash like I'd snatch him on the spot. I, Jake Miller, was playing the remorseful husband, but my heart was pounding like a techno track in a Seattle club. The plan to save Biscuit was in motion, and I just needed to distract Brittany long enough for my team to move. Brittany sat on the couch, eyeing me like a detective in a noir flick. "Jake, are you really ready to fix this? Because I've had enough drama." I nodded, avoiding Biscuit's gaze as he sniffed the floor like it was a treasure hunt. "Of course, Brent." I was too quick to mention divorce. I hated every word, but seeing Biscuit's shiny eyes, I knew it was worth it. Ryan, hiding behind the bedroom door, signaled, "Ready." Kyle, with his GoPro tucked in his bag, was recording from a corner. Tina, behind the curtains, was probably chewing her nails from nerves. I kept going. "I know you and Chad were a mistake. We can start over." Brittany tilted her head, sizing me up, then smirked. "Jake, I don't want Chad. I just want our family, you and Biscuit." "Family?" I nearly snorted. She called stealing my dog keeping the family? But I kept my poker face, stalling. Biscuit, as if on cue, tugged at the leash, wanting to come to me. Brittany tightened her grip, but I seized the moment. "Let him come closer, Brent. I miss him." She hesitated, then loosened the leash. That was my window. Fast as a clean code execution, Ryan darted from the back door, as stealthy as a 260-pound guy could be. He grabbed the leash, whispering to Biscuit, "Let's go, little man." Biscuit, sensing freedom, bolted after Ryan out the back, tail waving like a victory flag. Brittany, focused on me, didn't notice. Kyle stepped out, GoPro now openly recording, and Tina leapt from the curtains, yelling, "Game over, Brittany." I stood, dropping the act. "Brittany, thanks for bringing Biscuit back. But the divorce? Still happening. And the dog? He's mine." Brittany froze, then screamed like she'd been kicked off The Bachelor. "Jake, you tricked me? Who are these people?" She pointed at Tina, Kyle, and the back door where Ryan vanished with Biscuit. Tina, with a smug grin, said, "We're the dog rescue squad, and you, girl, just lost." Brittany lunged for the back door, but I blocked her. "Don't bother, Brent. It's all on camera. Want more social media drama?" She saw Kyle's GoPro and stopped, face red as a boiled lobster. "Jake, you can't do this. Biscuit's mine too." I shook my head. "No, Brent. Biscuit's mine. You're just good at posting him, not caring for him." We left the apartment, leaving Brittany screaming about lawyers and justice. I didn't care. I ran to the car, where Ryan was holding Biscuit, who jumped up, licking my face like he'd escaped prison. But looking closely, I got worried. Biscuit was thinner, his fur dull, not his usual chubby self. I took him to the vet immediately. The results made my blood boil. Biscuit was malnourished, like he'd been fed scraps instead of proper food. The vet frowned. "This dog looks neglected for weeks. not cared for. I hugged Biscuit, promising, I won't let you go through that again. Tina, still buzzing with victory, suggested, Jake, post that video on the Seattle Pet Lovers Facebook group. Let the city know who Brittany is. I did, with the caption, my ex-wife stole my dog and starved him. Here's how I got justice. The post went viral, with hundreds of comments dubbing Brittany Seattle's Cruella. She blocked me on all platforms, but I didn't need her apologies. I had Biscuit, and that was the biggest win. Justice, like a strong espresso, takes time to sink in. After getting Biscuit back from Brittany, I, Jake Miller, knew the drama wasn't over. I still had to face the divorce, and I was determined to make Brittany pay for what she did, not just to me, but to my dog. The courtroom, like a theater stage, was where I'd perform my final act. I hired a lawyer, Lisa, whose eyes were sharp as knives and voice made opponents quiver. Lisa watched Kyle's video, the vet record showing Biscuit's malnourishment, and the viral Facebook post. She grinned, Jake, your ex-wife dug her own grave. The trial happened in downtown Seattle, and I walked in, not as a timid IT guy, but as a man ready to reclaim what was mine. Brittany, with her lawyer, a guy who looked like he stepped out of an insurance ad, tried painting me as controlling, claiming I overreacted to her affair and stole Biscuit with force. Lisa stood, projecting Kyle's video on a screen. The courtroom went silent as Brittany walked into the apartment, fell for my trap, and lost Biscuit in seconds. Lisa said calmly, Your Honor, my client didn't steal the dog. He reclaimed his legal property after the defendant kidnapped and neglected it. She presented vet records, comparing Biscuit's weight and health before and after Brittany's stunt. The judge, a woman who seemed like a dog lover, frowned at Brittany. Brittany tried crying, saying she just wanted to keep the family and loved Biscuit like a child. Lisa cut in, Love? Love isn't letting a dog starve until the vet thinks it was abandoned. The court granted me full ownership of Biscuit, and due to Brittany's cheating and dog napping, I was spared alimony. Brittany left the courtroom, face gray as a Seattle winter, muttering about unfairness. Unfair? I wanted to yell, unfair is me trusting you while you slept with Chad. I also filed a lawsuit against Brittany for kidnapping and mistreating Biscuit. It's still ongoing, but I'm not in a rush. Biscuit's back to full health, fur glossy, tail wagging like a fan. I moved to a new apartment in Fremont, where Biscuit has a backyard to romp in. Brittany? She still texts sometimes, claiming I ruined her life and she never wanted Chad. I don't reply. She chose her path when she posted that new life photo. Now she's got her new life, without me or Biscuit. Life, like a long stretch of code, sometimes needs a hard reset to run smoothly. I, Jake Miller, weathered a storm named Brittany Harper, but now I'm here, with Biscuit by my side, feeling like I just won an Oscar for surviving drama. This story isn't just about a guy getting cheated on or a dog getting kidnapped. It's about standing up, fighting back, and learning not to let anyone trample your heart, or your dog. Biscuit's now the star of my life. Every morning, we jog around Fremont, stopping at a coffee shop where I sip a latte and he gets petted by strangers. Tina, my best friend who guided me through this mess, calls herself the midwife of this victory. She jokes, Jake, if another ex tries to steal your dog, call me. I've got a stash of air tags. I laugh, but I'm grateful. Without Tina, Ryan, and Kyle, I might have caved to Brittany's manipulation. Looking back, I learned a hard lesson: love isn't blind, it's about seeing the right person. Brittany was my dream, but that dream was just an Instagram filter, pretty from afar, distorted up close. I don't hate her. I just regret the time I spent trusting someone unworthy. But Biscuit? He's worth the world, and I'd do anything to protect him. Now I live simply, code, jog, play with Biscuit. I'm not looking for new love, not yet. Tinder's still a nightmare. But I'm content. Brittany can keep her drama. I've got Biscuit, and that's the family I need. If you're hearing this, I hope you take away something. Don't let anyone weaponize love, and if you've got a dog, hug it tight. Like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the craziest thing your ex ever pulled? Biscuit and I will read them all, right, buddy? Woof woof.